And pretty good conditions for the race. Kati Wilhelm just warming up there, looking to close the gap at the top of the leaderboard. Frank Luck and Ziggy Heinrich out on the course for the Eurosport team. Here's Ziggy to start with, saying the second race for the women on this Olympic track, the 7.5 kilometre. Jacques Rogge, the IOC president, one of the guests today, he's watching, but so's Frank Luck. What does Frank think about the weather and the conditions?
Frank
says compared to yesterday, temperatures slightly higher, air about 6 degrees, snow around 0 at the moment, so a big change for all the equipment. And as we saw yesterday, not all the nations getting the right wax, the right skis, and he says he knows they've all been putting in a lot of work trying to get it right. Of course, the German ladies are going to attack today, Kati Wilhelm being the Olympic champion in this discipline. And maybe she can be the top again in Torino 2006. But Frank, what are his predictions? Sandrine Bailly, he says she was incredibly fast the other day. Russian team also going very well. We saw that with Begali and Pilieva in the individual. Zaitseva also another one to watch out for. So the women will leave straight after these races in San Sicaro for Pokluka, and plenty of racing still to come this season. There you see confirmation of the conditions, 8.1 degrees, and well, the top women in the world. Olga Pilieva, the #1. Everyone else chasing her. Good to see Olofsson of Sweden having a good season. Groestad Christensen down in 18th now, but not going too badly. 17th for Begali, the winner of the individual, 246 points. She's got some racing to do if she's going to catch the rest. 7.5 kilometres, the distance today for the women's biathlon sprint event, and it's going to be Kati Wilhelm, the Olympic champion, who gets the action underway. Not only is the Olympic champion, she's also the leader in the Sprint World Cups, having got a win in the last race in Antots and Tesselva. And so Wilhelm certainly amongst the favourites to take the win again here today, but we've had 6 sprint races this season, 6 different winners, and amongst those, Wilhelm, of course, Pilieva, Bailly, Zaitseva, Scherholm, and Uschi Diesel, who won the very first sprint of the season in Bitostolen. So what are the odds that we're going to get a 7th winner today? Well, Livgreta Poré hasn't won a sprint so far this season. Maybe her fortunes are going to change today, but she's going to have to get that standing shooting together if that's going to be the case. Wilhelm then, world champion in 2001, Olympic champion 2002, and looking to be the Sprint World Cup winner this season. Nice steady start for Wilhelm, very powerful skier indeed. You may know already that she's come from a cross-country skiing background, exactly the same as the likes of Anna Olofsson of Sweden, Magdalena Forsberg, formerly from Sweden, and a number of the German squad as well. So she learnt the skiing before the shooting, and the likes of Uwe Musigang saying they have never seen anyone adopt so quickly. But part of that, of course, down to the determination and the dedication that Wilhelm is prepared to put into things. Nice look at the tracks here in San Sicariо, the Olympic courses for next year. And the start relatively easy as they work their way down the side of the hill, but then it's a long climb back up into the stadium. Anna Begali, fresh from her first win of the season just 2 days ago in the individual, 0.001 she shot, but was still skiing fast enough to hold off the rest. Just looking at the relative ski speeds from that individual race, Sandrine Bailly, if you take away the shooting penalties, and she got 3 of them, she was the quickest with a time of 48.46. But then a whole host in there at just over 49 minutes. Begali, Liu, Maguro of Japan, Denkinger, and Wilhelm 49.36. So very tight, but if Bailly is on the same sort of form and she can hit the targets, I think it will be her day. A field of 115. starting number 5, former world champion from 2003, Katerina Holubachova, not having the best of seasons, down in 24th in the World Cup rankings. She'll be looking for a couple of top 10 finishes just to boost her confidence before the World Championships. 28 now, Holubachova. Doesn't look quite as relaxed on the skis as she did in her best season, 2003. Olga Pilieva, World Cup leader, looking very focused. Well, here's another potential champion for this year, Sandrine Bailly, 3rd in the world last year. 87 and 77% hit rates in the prone and standing this season. So the shooting not brilliant, but her skiing is in a league of its own. And as I say, if she shoots clear today, I'm sure she's going to make it win number 10. Well, you saw Frank Look talking about the weather conditions, saying it's much warmer, and as a consequence, just that little bit slower. Istad Christiansen from Voss on the western side of Norway, just inland from Bergen. Beautiful area, produced many top biathletes over the years. Erik Falfoss, if you go back as far as the early 80s. And now Istad Christiansen flying the Voss flag. Michela Ponza, the only Italian to be performing this year, the only Italian in the top 50 of the World Cup rankings. But she's looked very solid, and certainly Italy's best hope, men or women, to take medals in biathlon next year. And I certainly don't think it's beyond her. 25, she'll be 26 next year, in her prime. Anna Begali cutting a fine line. Real opportunity, not just for us to see who the likely contenders are going to be next year, but for the women to get a taste and a feel of the action here in San Siccario. They will learn an enormous amount about the tracks. Not only are they racing, they're out training morning and afternoon, and just looking at various parts of the course, looking at bits that they can improve on. Istad Christiansen looking nice and steady, but skiing well within herself in the opening stages. So here goes the World Cup leader, Olga Pilieva, and what a season she's had so far. 530 points to her name already, 28 points clear of Kati Wilhelm after 16 races, and we've got 27 scheduled. I don't see too many of those being cancelled. Of course, it could happen, but let's hope not. And of course, the World Cup overall includes the World Championship races in Hochfilzen. So we go from here to Pakluka, then to Hochfilzen for the World Championships on the 5th of March, and then the last races of the season, 17th, 18th and 20th of March for the women, and they're in Khanty-Mansisk, where the World Championships were in 2003, right in the middle of Siberia. Great place, and a great atmosphere when we go to race there. Huge numbers turning out to watch both the men and the women's events, and we will be having a mixed relay there. I know a number of you have been asking over the years whether it will ever happen. Well, it is going to happen, and it will be the last race of the year. First climb for Olga Pilieva, and a first chance to push the pulse up. She's been separated from the Russian team over the last couple of weeks. The rest have been at altitude, so watch out for Begali, who's been up at altitude, along with Zaitseva. Both of those going through a trial, I guess you could say, in preparation for racing at this sort of altitude. We're at 1600 meters, and that's certainly high enough to get the pulse going. Ushi Diesel just starting. Anna Begali now heading towards the range for the first time. Just 2.5 kilometre loops to be skied, and well, that's going to take around 5 minutes to complete, maybe a little more. So how will Uschi Diesel go today? She's down in 7th place in the World Cup standings. With each race that goes by, her chances of winning the overall for the first time ever look slimmer and slimmer. 8th place in the individual. Wasn't a bad performance, but she's become a little bit shaky with the shooting of late. She was clean up until the 15th shot, and then she missed 2 in that last stand. So I guess the standing shoot in the sprint all important for Uschi Diesel today. Good shot of the Adidas boots that she wears, nice and firm, very light boots indeed, but with modern materials they've developed a lot of lateral strength and giving a fair amount of support. Italian Prime Minister due to attend today, Jacques Rogge, the IOC President, also in attendance for these races. Not a bad start from Kati Wilhelm. She really would have liked 5. I guess that's a bit of an obvious statement, but she's not quite skiing well enough to be able to make up for mistakes, and she now knows that she's got to hit all 5 in the standing. Certainly 2 penalties will rule her out of a possible win. See if we can spot where the missed target was. So often they throw it high right if they're snatching. There it is. And all the shots, in fact, verging on the right-hand side. Can't see any real change in the wind. As you can see, the telltale's pretty much still. Just the occasional puff of wind coming through, and that might have been what threw that round off, but it did look suspiciously like a snatch from Kati Wilhelm. Now, Anna Begali, can she keep her good form going? 19 out of 20 in the individual, and of course skiing well enough to take the win when we all thought Sandrine Bailly had it in the bag. Number 2 goes wide. A little bit of a pull on the trigger. You could see the action on the trigger finger. Begali, with 2 misses, is not going to make it 2 wins in a row. Now Perretto of France, the French usually very solid, but possibly not getting the alignment right for that first shoot. And most of the action will be on the range today. Maybe get a little view of some skiing going on. Wilhelm exiting for the first time. Penalty paid. And now she knows she's got to ski hard. Can't afford to hold back and play tactically anymore. Sandrine Bailly just making sure that the carrying harness is nice and loose. Down go the sticks. She's been shooting nice and steadily, Sandrine Bailly. 6th place in the individual. Missed 3 in the last standing, and she was 2 minutes clear of the rest of the field. Not a good start for the Frenchwoman. Still breathing very hard indeed, and there is absolutely no wind to speak of. So 3 out of 5 for Bailly, and that really is not a good start for her. Wilhelm on 9:01 is looking pretty quick. 2 penalty loops, 300 meters to be skied by Sandrine Bailly, and she has put herself at a huge disadvantage. Now, can Ishtad Christensen? No, she can't take full advantage. 1 shot missed already. Lovely rhythmical shoot, but 1 and 5 go wide, and Ishtad joins Bailly on the penalty loop. Now here's someone I've got my money on for today. Elena Zabrilova, skiing just a minute or so slower than the best in the individual, but she's coming back to form, and I fancy her for a win. She's had 1 this season in Antolz in the individual. Question is, what can she do in the shooting? Anna Begali getting some fairly frantic messages from the Russian coaching squad. Not quite sure what that was all about, but Begali certainly had something to say. Maybe about the skis, the feel of the ski and the wax, because the Russians have skiers in all 4 groups, and the last to go is going to be Urieva, who doesn't set off until 11:52 local time in San Sicaro. That will be 10:52 if you're watching in the UK. So she's got another 40 minutes before she starts, so plenty of time to change the wax on the skis. Let's see the first clear shoot. Well done, Michaela Ponza, 9:08. Not as quick as the likes of Wilhelm and Pareto, but she has gone clear, and we could see another top 10 finish if she can do so again on the standing. The skiing from Ponza not quite as good as it was mid-season. 13th in the World Cup standings at the moment. Had a good run of results in Östersund at the end of December. Now, here's someone who is skiing fast enough to contend. Olga Pilieva, 8:10. She's still 45 seconds inside Wilhelm's time, but must go clear. Good shooting, Pilieva, no problems whatsoever. Such a good season she's having, very, very consistent indeed. Just looking through her results, and a reminder that of the 27 races in the season, the worst 3 are taken away at the end of the year, and the only occasion that Pilieva has been outside the top 30 was the 3rd race of the year, the first one in Holmenkollen, actually, the individual 15-kilometre there, where she finished 39th. So she won't lose too many points, a 23rd and a 22nd, so 17 points taken off her total at the moment at the end of the season, and that score can only come down. So things looking good for Pilieva in her bid to take the Crystal Globe. Uschi Diesel, first shoot. Standing has been the problem of late. 3 misses in the last stand of the individual, and she goes through what is almost habitual change of the sights. Interesting breathing from Uschi Diesel there. You may have seen her just slowly exhaling before she prepared for each shot. The 5th one going wide. It looked very good up to that stage. Pilieva, comfortable leader at the moment. 8:41 the time, and Diesel goes through 8:41 now. She's already on the penalty loop, so she's going to be reasonably close to Kati Wilhelm's time, and the Germans in a good position to strike for the 2nd shoot and then the charge home over 2.5 kilometres. Just one more race to go here in San Sicariо for the women. The relay tomorrow. It'll be very interesting to see who races and who doesn't. Fairly sure we'll see Uschi Diesel take the start line for Germany. They all love racing, and of course plenty of money to be won for the relay event as well. But I'm not so sure we're going to see all the French in there. I think they may decide just to rest up for the World Cup races in Pekluka. Incidentally, if you're a cross-country fan, Oleana Bjorndalen racing in the cross-country World Cup later on today in Ruitenwinkel. And that's going to be on Eurosport International, and I believe on British Eurosport a little later on this afternoon. 4 out of 5 for Katrine Apel, so the shooting not particularly good at the moment. Only one person went clear in the women's individual race. That was Danja Grudicek of Slovenia, and she finished in 19th. So 3-4 minutes slower over the snow, but she did get a clean sheet on that particular day, and she was the only one to do so. 7 of the skiers got 1 penalty. We were expecting good shooting conditions, but the climb up to this range, the fact that we're at altitude and the breathing that much harder, certainly seems to be having its effect. And then if you add the Olympic pressure next year, we may find that races are won with 1 or 2 penalties. Ishmaradova on her prone shoot at the top of the screen, just come back into the Russian squad, throws her first one wide. Kati Wilhelm clear at the moment. This would be a nice finish for Wilhelm. Oh, she's missed number 5. That was a little careless because it was very, very steady up to that stage, and Wilhelm has another penalty to do. She'll take the lead as she comes out of the range, but she's going to have a nervous wait in the finish area to see what's going on. See if we can see what happened. Looked to be slightly canted with the rifle, maybe just tiring and falling out of the position, but decided to chance it and has paid the price. There she is on the penalty loop. A little unusual to see an anti-clockwise loop. I guess we see one in Ruhpolding is anti-clockwise. So Wilhelm comes out 18-17. Anna Begali now for her second. 2 misses on the first prone, and she didn't look particularly happy out on the tracks. If she can clear these, she won't be too far behind Wilhelm. So another miss, and 3 misses in all for Begali. That's just damage limitation for her now. She'll try and just ski fast enough to get herself into the top 10, keep those World Cup points mounting up. Pareto of France, lovely finish from her, 17.56. The time is good, and she's going to be inside Kati Wilhelms. Maybe we've got a new name in the French team. It would they really do need a little more strength in depth. Sandrine Bailly has been holding the fort for a number of years now, and Sylvie Bacard giving it a go again. She's looking much better this week than she has done at any stage this season. Pareto here with an excellent time, 18.19, just 2 seconds down on Kati Wilhelm. I don't think she'll catch the German, but it's an encouraging performance, and shows that if she shoots clear, she certainly has a chance of taking a top 5. Number 40 going through, Blankovic of Slovenia, someone who suffers the nerves in the first shoot, and he always has problems with that. Now, Bailly, just like Anna Begali, cannot afford a mistake on the standing shoot. Surely she's not going to have a disaster like she had in the last shoot of the individual. 4 out of 5 for Bailly. I'm not sure it's going to be her day. The opportunities looking better and better for the likes of Liv Greta Poiré, who starts a little bit later on. Number 48, Ishtag Christiansen, goes out. 1 more missed for her. 3 in total. The standard of shooting really is not very good today, and it's in the calmest day we've had all season. Linda Sjöholm, now that's would be a good bet, I think, for a top 3 result. Sjöholm's getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on. 8:41 on the clock. Pilieva's time, she's going to be just outside that, but remember, Pilieva with a miss in the standing. Guisdon of Poland, always good with the rifle, is in second place after the prone, and Sjöholm goes into third. But certainly if she goes clear, she could find herself taking the lead after her second shoot. Avril Robert, 27. First prone absolutely crucial for her, and she's going to find herself in the top 10. Now, big moment for Olga Pilieva. This really would do her chances of taking the Crystal Globe at the end of season no harm at all, if she could get another top 3 result. Lots of movement in the Pilieva rifle. And she's got 2 penalties to do. A minute to get inside Wilhelm's time. That's going to be very tight between those two. Now, Zina Cocker of Canada, someone who had an exceptional run in the individual. 17th. She got a personal best of 10th. And if she can clear this last one, she may better it. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Cocker misses shot number 10 and is going to find herself 30 seconds or so behind Caddy Wilhelm. It was very, very tight. She would have been just 3 or 4 seconds down and in with a chance of getting into the top 10 for the first time. But I think that one missed shot is going to prove very expensive. So Anna Begali having more problems. In fact, it's not. It looks rather comical. It must be Zaitseva having all sorts of trouble. Now, I wonder whether she's hit a patch of ice. Certainly, there have been no reports of any ice on the course. Possibly just wearing a pair of skis where the camber is slightly too soft. Too much pressure going through the centre of the foot. And when you come to the sharper corners, it's very easy for the ski to spin out. I think that's unlikely. I think it's more likely just to be a lack of concentration from Zaitseva. Anna Olofsson on very good form in Ruhpolding 3 or 4 weeks ago, but has slightly lost her confidence since then. Good start for Anna Olofsson, the Swede. Good start position as well, with a clear shoot on the prone. She's going to get some very good reports out on the track. She's not going to be told she's in the lead, because she's not, and that's probably a good thing. But what she won't know is that so many of the top athletes have missed on the standing, and that really does open up an opportunity. She's come through in fourth, 16 seconds down on Pilieva, but we know that Pilieva has missed in the standing, so Olofsson could get back to her top 5 way. Certainly a possibility. Good opening prone shoot, and the Swede making up for what was a disappointing run in the individual, where she finished 18th. Number 16, Im Chao Kong, just 22. Lu of China, by far and away the best, and a very quick skier indeed, in the top 5 ski times for the individual, Lu. And Lu starts number 38, so it'll be a few moments before she comes in for her next shoot. Well, they don't come much better than that. Great shooting from Kong, and she gets a generous round of applause. Well, I think they should have been on their feet cheering, because that was an outstanding stand shoot. Kong goes clear and has hit 9 out of 10 for the day, and believe it or not, she's inside the lead time of 18:17. We've got a new leader. She's from China, and can she hold on? Well, the way things are going, it's looking very, very promising indeed. 10.2 seconds inside. China could get their first win for the season. Early days to be saying that, but we've seen so many miss in prone and stand. Wilhelm coming in towards the finish, 1-1 for her. Maybe the early start number not playing to her advantage. Nice clean tracks, but Wilhelm somewhat off form. 26:09 the lead time. Svetlana Ishmaradova. Good comeback so far. 7th position in the individual. Oh, that's a shame. 17:34. Had she hit that, she would have been a good 20 seconds inside Kong. She's going to have wasted 5 or 6 seconds on the penalty loop. I think we could see Ishmaradova making a charge. She's certainly in much better form than we've seen for a while. And I'm not even going to suggest she might win today, because every time that happens, she fails to do so. Xingyang Lu of China has gone clear on the prone, and I think we're going to see her going into the lead when she stops the timing gun. Guidon, another clear shoot from her. 17:36. This is fantastic, and Poland are going brilliantly. So all change at the top of the order. Lou comes out of the prone in second position, just down on Pilieva. Kong leading after the second shoot, but Magdalena Guidon is going to beat that. 17:53. She's got an advantage of 13 seconds. It's going to be tight. Remember, Kong missing one in the prone, and so she's had an extra 25 seconds of skiing already. I think Guidon should be able to hold on to that, but we've seen a number of athletes, particularly Sherazov in the men's individual, fade over the last loop, and that's really an indication of how tough these courses are here in San Siccario. Begali with a strong finish, but too many mistakes on the range. 1 and 2, or 2 and 1 I should say, from her, and not even with her current form can she make up for that. Second position, 27:05. She's just under a minute behind Kati Wilhelm, and she's going to find herself pushed down, I would imagine, outside the top 10 positions at the end of the day. Pareto has had a good run. 26:09 from Wilhelm's going to survive, but I think Begali's going to go down to third. 26:56, 57, and an excellent run. Pareto with the best we've seen from her this year. No lack of effort on the part of Anna Begali now. What can Zubrilova do? Watch the clock. 17:22, still 30 seconds inside Guisdon. Has to hit the rest if she wants a podium finish. Well, the remaining four were solid. That first shot just went too early. I wonder if she just let it go by a mistake. Certainly a possibility, but Zubrilova has put some pressure on herself. This woman doesn't know quite how well she's done. 87 and 78, her shooting record so far this year. She's improved it today. She's hit 10 out of 10 and is heading towards the finish. Will almost certainly take the lead, unless, of course, Yingqiao Kong of China has an absolute stormer in the closing stages. 3 misses for Ishtad of Norway. 2 and 1. Sandrine Bailly likewise 1 minute down off the pace. Not a good day for Sandrine Bailly. Now here's another of the young Norwegians, Linda Sjöholm. This is good. Oh, you could see it for yourself. The movement exaggerated on the fifth one, and Sjöholm throws away her chance of taking a win. She was so close. She would have come out in almost exactly the same time as Guisdon of Poland, but that is not going to happen now. She's got a 23 second penalty loop to pay before she gets back on the 2.5 kilometer loop heading towards the finish. A disappointing finish then for Linda Sjöholm. She looked strong, looked confident. A little bit of excitement in the Polish camp, and so there should be. Florence Bavrel-Robert, 22nd in the World Cup standings at the moment. Good conditions for this stand shoot. Martina Glago on the inset. Bavrel-Robert clear. Glago throws the fifth one wide, and 18:13. How does the time look? Not too bad. Wilhelm's time of 18:17 is just going to survive, and Pareto 18:19. She's okay as well. In fourth, Ishmaradova 18:24. Just behind there, a few names for Bavrel-Robert to chase. That's a very useful position to be in. Certainly she's got a chance of getting herself in the top 5 or 6 today. Olga Pilieva coming home. It looks so good early on with a clear prone shoot. And Pilieva 26.49, third position at the moment. She'll be very disappointed, but I think she's done enough to hold on to her lead in the World Cup. She's really contending with the likes of Wilhelm and Bailly. Both Bailly, we know, missing 3, Caddy Wilhelm failing to go clear as well, so I don't think there'll be any changes at the top of the order. Ekaterina Davoska coming out, third position, 18.10, and Davoska only the 4th person to shoot clear so far. Poiré, a good opening shoot. Now, what's the ski time like? Talking to our Norwegian colleagues, they said the spirit in the camp was good, and they thought that Poiré was coming back to her best form. That would not indicate the case. 9.02, and a lot of work to do for Poiré, and she's got to go clear. Olofsson in with a chance of taking the lead, still 30 seconds plus inside Guisdon, and suddenly she's under pressure. Olofsson has missed 10 out of the last 40 shots in World Cup competition, and I'm afraid she's starting to make a little bit of a habit of it. It's becoming more of a mental problem than a physical one. We know she can do it, and she throws her chance of a win away, and it's still looking very, very good for Guisdon. Uschi Diesel, like Sandrine Bailly, has missed 3, skied hard to come in 26.53, just behind Pilieva. So Diesel, 3 misses in all today. Here comes Kong of China, who started a minute behind Uschi Diesel. 26.24 on the clock, 26.09. It looks as though she has faded, definitely faded. Well, that's a shame. That one miss proving very expensive. Remember also we've got Guisdon heading towards the line. Caddy Wilhelm has put in a blistering finish to put herself into top spot. Kong is going to go into third. Great run, best of her season so far. 33 seconds. She's lost 43 seconds over the last 2.5 kilometers. We suggested it was tough. That is evidence of just how hard this course is. 1-0 the shooting for Kong. Xinglang Lu, I can tell you, has gone through the prone and is clear and skiing very fast indeed. Liv Greta Poiré of Norway has also gone through the prone and is clear. Number 39 heading towards the stadium. Adele Turner from Great Britain, comes from Kendal. That is not the sort of thing she'll want to see on the replay this evening, but she's not the only one to take a tumble there. Looks to be uninjured, which is good. She's just got to get back on the course. Forget all about that. I think there must be a little bit of a problem with the snow conditions there, just as they've been having at the Alpine World Championships today. Kali Palander of Finland taking a big fall on a huge hole appearing on the men's slalom course. So the officials looking at a protest from the Finnish team, I would imagine. Ishmaradova of Russia, 1-1. Good skiing from Ishmaradova, but still not good enough to catch Caddy Wilhelm, who holds on to that lead with a time of 26.09. Guisdon was inside by a huge margin, but she's failed to hold it as well. Guisdon has lost another, well, she was 17 seconds up, and she was 10 seconds clear, plus, so she was 27 seconds clear of Caddy Wilhelm, but she's failed to hold on to it. Now, Xinglang Lu is quick enough to outdo Wilhelm should she go clear. 17.53 Guisdon's time. Oh, excellent stuff. She missed a win in Ruhpolding 4 weeks ago, falling over 150 meters before the line, and now Xinglang Lu has the best chance of the season. 17.48. She's comfortably inside Wilhelm, who is the significant skier. Guisdon and Kong have both finished now and failed to overtake the German, and Lu goes in a second at the moment. 17.59, 5.6 seconds. Now, what has she got left in the tank? Top 5 skier 2 days ago in the individual. Caddy Wilhelm's time 49.36, Lou's time 49.40, so there were only 4 seconds between the two of them, and that would suggest that Lou of China has the physical strength to hold off Wilhelm of Germany. It's going to be another 6 minutes or so before we find out whether that is the case. Good day for the minor nations. Poland, China. Disappointing finish for Brankovic. There goes Lou up the steep climb out of the stadium, and she's got the support. She's going to need as much as they're prepared to give her on this last loop, because she has got to dig very, very deep indeed. Wilhelm's skis were going well, but she was also going well. I think she sensed that there wasn't an opportunity, despite the fact that she's missed targets. Lena Zubrilova coming down into the finish. She had a chance but missed one. What she managed to do over the closing stages, 26.30. She's struggling as well. I wonder if the course is just getting slower and slower. Very warm conditions today. We've seen how soft the snow is on the corners, and the case is exactly the same on the steep uphills. 30 seconds outside. I think the snow and the skis playing a major part in the results today. Tora Berger, good clear shoot, and she's been getting quicker and quicker as the season has gone on. The sister of Lars Berger lives in Trondheim on the west coast. So many of the Norwegian athletes focus their efforts in Trondheim. Great university that specialises in sport, and of course they've got all the facilities from the World Championships that were held back in 1997. That was the Nordic World Championships, so plenty of snow. They've got a good range and an ideal location to base yourself. Xing Lang Lu. Does it look good? It's looking painful. It's looking very slow indeed. I think she's starting to tie up. The muscles are shortening, the lactate building. This is going to be a fight to the line. 5 seconds she had to gain on Gwizdon of Poland. She had a small margin of 7 seconds or so over her teammate Kong, but it's all about the finishing 1 kilometre, and Lou is into that stage now. 27.07 for Sjöholm, and 11th position. Pavrel Robert, only one miss, but a little slow over the snow. 9th position, just ahead of teammate Pareto, so not a bad day for the French. Certainly if they can put their best results together in tomorrow's relay, we could get a surprise win. Skate 2 all the way for Lou, and although I'm saying it looks painful, it's an indication that she's still reasonably strong. Otherwise she would have switched into the skate 1, which is rather like going down a gear in a car, switching from 4th to 3rd when you come to a steeper uphill section. De Voska has shot brilliantly today, but isn't back to her best skiing form, but she will be encouraged by her shooting. It's been a good week so far for the Bulgarian. 26.37 the time, and just under 30 seconds outside the lead. Martina Glago, haven't seen or heard much of her in recent weeks. 4th in the World Cup standings, and still in with a chance of taking the overall this season, but has been finishing in 5th, 6th, 9th to last 4 results. Now, what has Lou managed to do? 22.33. She's now 4 seconds off the lead, but more crucially, she's 4 seconds down off Cathy Wilhelm. So Wilhelm is going to survive the challenge from Lou, and well, if we needed proof of the fact that Wilhelm was on form, we've got it. Now, Poiré, can she get her first sprint win of the season? Well, with the miss, certainly not, but even so, she is not skiing fast enough to beat the Chinese or the Polish or the Bulgarians. Extraordinary situation. Normally dominated by Norway, France, Germany and Russia, and suddenly China, Poland, Bulgaria are in at the top of the leaderboard. Make of it what you will. Certainly the teams have been all trying different things in preparation for these races. The Russians and the Chinese using altitude a lot. The Russians benefited in the individual, but are not having it their own way today. Olofsson with a strong finish. And just looking down, you can see Olga Pilieva now pushed down to 8th position. She's going to survive this challenge from Olofsson, who goes into 10th. But if Wilhelm wins today and picks up 50 points, she's going to go to 552. And Olga Pilieva will then need to pick up 22 points to equal the lead. 23 if she wants to take the lead. And so she really needs to finish in the top 11. And she's down in 8th at the moment, so things are going to tighten up almost certainly. And from what I can see from the early starters, there aren't too many threatening. Denkinger is certainly one who could have done, but 2 misses in the prone, too expensive for Simone Denkinger. Not going to be able to repeat her 4th position of 2 days ago. 5 times Denkinger has now finished in 4th, has yet to take a step onto the podium. Well, there'll be 1 or 2 wanting to know exactly what Kari Wilhelm had on her skis, because that last loop was almost unbelievable. She has blown away the rest of the field. Xinglang Lu really should have been able to capitalise on her clear shoot today, but she has tired significantly. And maybe starting first, after all, wasn't such a bad thing. I think the tracks are getting slower and slower. Wilhelm, with 2 misses today, is still well clear of the rest of the field, plus those extra 300 metres, which will have taken about 45 seconds. So somehow she's managed to take a minute or so off everyone on the course today. Halinarova. Good shooting from Halinarova. That's the first clear shoot that she's had this year. I do apologise for the fact that we're not giving you any information on those we're not seeing. The computer in the commentary booth has taken a dive and unable to get any information on the previous shoots. So we can only report on what we can actually see from the box. Lu coming in to finish 26.31 her time, 26.35 in fact, 3rd position. Guisdon has held on to 2nd, and Kati Wilhelm still the number 1, 25 seconds down. And well, she's gained a little time on the pole, Guisdon, but not enough to overtake her. She gained 5 or 6 seconds on Kong, her teammate, but has lost 30 seconds to Kati Wilhelm. So there are the standings at the moment at the finish, and Wilhelm's time of 26.09. 1 miss in the prone, 1 miss in the standing for Wilhelm, but it's looking very promising indeed. Guisdon just missing out, 4.2 seconds behind Xinglang Lu. Great shoot again, but today not quick enough over the snow. So a bit of a role reversal from what we've seen in the past couple of weeks for Lu. Ishmaradova, 4th yet again. Another solid performance for her. Let's hope that she saves a medal-winning run for the World Championships. It would be excellent to see the Russian veteran standing on the podium in the championships, but she's going to have to go some to achieve that. So many women skiing at the top level now, but no one today quite as good as Kati Wilhelm. The glide is good, certainly the skis are working nicely, but the power from the upper body and the legs holding right the way through to the 7.5 kilometre stage. Attacks the hills, good long stride. Look at the step up on each glide. Compare that to Lou a few minutes ago, who was just putting the foot down level with the lead foot. Wilhelm gaining a good 8, 10, maybe even 12 inches with every stride taken on the uphill section. Coats coming off as Jacques Rogger is showed around the facilities here in San Sicario. And to be honest, it does look a little bit like a building site. The tracks are good, the timing's working okay, but all the infrastructure needs a considerable amount of work if it's going to be ready in 363 days' time, which is when the opening ceremony for Torino 2006 will take place. Tora Berger only one miss and charging in towards the finish, but has lost time like so many on the last loop. In the top 19 for now, but still plenty more to come. 115 starters here in San Sicario. Slow and deliberate for Grigorin. Well, it's worked okay, but in the sprint event, if you want to win, you cannot afford more than one breath in between each shot, and I think she's going to have to work on that. But that's good news as far as her individual races go. That would have been a sensible tactic for the individual. 10 out of 10 for Grigorin. She joins a number of athletes that have gone clear, shooting not too bad from the later starters. The early skiers having all sorts of problems, but Grigorin has gone clear. Martina Glago, strangely enough, missing one shot in the prone, and it doesn't look as though she's really at the races. Doesn't look too determined, but I guess it could be deceptive, just making sure before she comes around. Just doesn't look as comfortable on the skis as we've seen from her in the past, and I think she's not enjoying the fact that the winds aren't coming quite as regularly as they used to. Good American contingent here in the field for this particular event. Jill Kraus-Best went at number 42. Rachel Steer, the best of the Americans, went 49. And Barnes now with 9 hits out of 10. I think she'll be happy, and if she can up the pace on the last loop, then Barnes could well find herself in the World Cup points for the first time this year. Martina Glago, I think something's very wrong, not getting the good vibes from her body language. We'll get confirmation of her form when she comes across the line, but looking all over the place. Later start for Martina Glago. She has Livretta Poré just a minute behind her. 9 hits out of 10, but I think the split times that she's been given have been indicating to her don't put too much effort. And as the race goes on, more and more I'm thinking that the conditions earlier on were very much faster. It's plus 8 degrees now, and a lot of moisture in the track, and I just wonder whether they haven't got enough what we call rills underneath the ski in the P-Tex base that stop the suction between the ski and the snow, because everyone is struggling. Guseva comes out, a better shoot for Guseva, but her time is absolutely dreadful. This World Cup was said to be her last chance of coming back to the form that we've seen from her in the past. And Guseva, incidentally, is the summer biathlon world champion. I think those races were held in Ruhpolding this summer, and combines running with shooting. Livretta Poré, one mistake on the standing. Her teammate Flatland, 2 mistakes. 27.40 and 22nd place. So another disappointing run for Livretta Poré. 1:31 off the lead with only 1 miss. On form? I don't think so. Now, what does she do before Hogfelsen? Will we see a race in Pokluka? I think there's a possibility that she will sit out the next round of the World Cup and give herself a couple of weeks to recover before the World Championships. And just in case you missed it earlier on, the women's champs start on the 5th of March with the 7.5 kilometre sprint. We've got pursuits, individuals, mass starts, and of course the relay, and all taking place in Hochfilzen, not so far from Fieberbrunn, and maybe what, an hour and a quarter's drive from Salzburg Airport. Margina of Russia looking to try and win herself a place in the Russian team for the up-and-coming World Championships, but her standing shoot really has been very poor this season, down at 60% hit rate, and she's missed targets again today. Margina being put down in group number 3, and as time goes on, Kati Wilhelm's run is looking more and more likely that it is going to win her 50 points for a win in the World Cup. Guisdon with an excellent run in second. Liu of China back on the podium again, just as she was in Ruhpolding a few weeks ago. Svetlana Ishmaradova just missing out, always seems to be the way. Davoska in 5th. Bulgarians can be encouraged by that performance. The great Ushi Diesel down in 10th today. 3 misses, 44 seconds down, but Diesel did get a reasonably early start, and she's taken advantage of the fact that the tracks were in better condition. Sandrine Bailly started number 6, missed 3, but is still, well, not quite, but almost within a minute of the leading time. So Bailly limits the damage, but we'll have to keep a close eye on that leaderboard, because it's all important. We could see a new leader today. Wilhelm, we know, is going to go up to 552 points if she wins, and that means that Olga Pilieva has got to pick up 22 points, so she's got to finish in the top 12 today to stay level, and she needs a top 11 run if she is going to push herself up into, or keep herself in the yellow bib for the first race in Pokluka next week. Adele Turner, 57th, just been pushed down to 58th position now after the second shoot. Not a bad run. Big fall from Adele earlier on in the day. Emma Fowler, strangely enough, the best of the British skiers, electing to start in group number 2, and I think she'll be ruining that decision with the way the tracks have turned out over the last few days. Certainly it did look as though it was getting faster. The junior world champion Jenny Adler shoots clear, and 19:03, as you can see, not a good time. She was considerably faster than this 2 days ago, and so she, like everyone else, is suffering from the change in the conditions of the tracks, and you can see just how soft it is. What you can't see on the screen is how much moisture is in the snow, and that is what's giving everyone the problems. Denisova comes in, 2 misses, and doesn't even make the top 30. Doesn't look too happy with the way things have gone either. Kunkova, one of the later starters for Belarus, and that's a promising start, but the ski time is slow outside the top 30 with a clear shoot. She's got a minute or so to catch up on each 2.5 kilometre loop if she's going to be competitive, and the Belarusian team just giving her a little bit of experience. One of the younger skiers, Kunkova, and that clear shoot won't have done her confidence any harm at all. Now all she's got to do is copy some of the faster skiers. looks a little bit too stable on the skis, getting the weight too far over and losing the ability to keep a nice high tempo as a result. Jenny Adler, promising career ahead of her, 2 golds at the last Junior World Championships, and certainly the Germans have a bright future. From Annecy, Sylvie Becard, sprint world champion in Chianti-Manzisk 2 years ago. Only done 6 races this year, and Becard really struggling to find her best form. 4 misses in all, so she won't trouble the top 30. Now, what's Grigorin managed to do? The Slovakian with a clear shoot, 27.55, desperately wanting World Cup points, needs to finish in the top 30. Is she going to manage that? Ponza's safe. Nazarova, 28.02 is safe, and she goes into 29th position. 154 off the leaders. That's a good shoot from Grigorin, and all credit to her. She knew just how close it was to getting in the top 30, and she might survive there. I think we may well see Jenny Adler pushing Grigorin down a place, so she's going to finish 29th or 30th. Well, what little snow cover there was has completely gone overnight. Another name to make a note of, Niziak, up from the Europa Cup Tour, and she won't be happy with that, but once again it is about experience and just tasting the World Cup. She's not likely to see too many more races this year. Ulrik Slettemark of Greenland not having too bad a run. Both Ulrik and Øystein, her husband, starting to reach good ski form of late. Now, Silva, I have a feeling, must have taken a shortcut on the course because her time was so quick. Hopefully we'll catch up on that again in a minute. Katja Haller coming out 9.44 after the first shoot. Not the best we've seen from her, as we cue in again on Natalia Guseva, who's having a very, very disappointing season. Comes from what was formerly known as the Leningrad area, St. Petersburg now. And as I said, on her last chance to stay in the Russian team, and I'm not sure she's done herself any favours. 9 out of 10, but outside the top 35. She's got to hope that the Russian coaching team think that the conditions really weren't in her favour.
Live your myth in Greece.
Marina Malgina, another of a huge squad of Russians racing today. 1 miss in all, and this is a bit more promising from this start position. She's done exceptionally well, but I just wonder how she can keep that going. A top 15 would be an exceptional result for Malgina, and she's going to have to go some. Poiré ahead of her, Bailly ahead of her, and Zina Koka also up there. Arpel down. We're looking for the name of, trying to find out exactly where Plieva is at the moment, and I do apologise for the fact that I can't give you any information on the results of the first shoot or the second shoot. The computer absolutely refusing to play ball this morning, and we can't see the scoreboard from where we're situated, so a little less information than we'd like to give you, but we do know for sure that Kati Wilhelm has the lead, and it's a comfortable one now, despite the fact that she's missed 2 targets. Flatmerland missing the same, but over 2 minutes behind. Number 74, Kolinchik. Well, these are the occasions when it really does seem fair to put the best in the first group. Although I think everyone will agree with me that the way the World Cup cross-country works now, with the top runners going in reverse order in all the races, it does make for better racing and better viewing if you know that the people starting behind you are faster, and it seems to bring the race to life. But were that the case today, we would have had some extraordinary results. Not that that's a bad thing. It's nice for some of the lesser known athletes to have their moment of glory, but certainly with such a big field, 115 skiers, and therefore almost an hour's difference between the start time of the first and the last, the conditions have had a major effect on the results today. And it's the person who started first who is in top spot, Kati Wilhelm of Germany. I don't think she will have been too pleased when she saw her bib number being drawn, but in hindsight she'll know that it has won her the race today, because some of the very best skiers have shot clear but still haven't been able to catch Wilhelm, who missed 2 targets. Rebo Sun, can she join the 2 Chinese currently in the top 5 positions? I don't think so, but it's still not too bad. But she's not fast enough to contend with 2 misses, and she hasn't done much to please the shooting coach for the Chinese team. Number 90 is Makarova of Russia. Now, this could be a nice way to finish her day. Looks nice and solid. And she makes it 10 out of 10. Excellent shooting from Makarova. 19:20 the time.
In the standing position also for Russian Yulia Makarova.
Makarova, after the first shoot, in 47th position. She will have moved up a little after that second shoot and going clear. And there she is, 36th, 146 down, despite the fact that she's shot clear. We'll just try and check on Makarova's previous results to see how that compares to her normal skiing time. Got 6th place in the individual in Antolz with 18 out of 20. 13th in the sprint when she shot clear, and she's now lying down in 35th position. So the conditions, I think it's fair to say, costing her at least 25 places, and she won't be thanking the Russian coaches for putting her down there, but they may take the conditions into consideration when it comes to selecting the groups for the next race. Adler, 2 minutes 40 off the pace despite shooting clear. Sabina Buchholz, really, you have to say, has absolutely no chance at all, starting number 112. And a very disappointing day. There you get some indication of just how wet it is. That's the first sign of that. But the snow even worse. And they're not only losing time on the soft, sugary uphills, they're losing time on all the downhill runs as well. Still, it's part of the game, and that is why the coaches and the athletes like to be able to choose where their athletes run. They'll always consult the meteorologist just to find out what the weather's going to do, what the temperature is likely to do, and then predict how fast the tracks will be at a certain time. But right the way throughout this season, the best have decided to go in Group 1. So effectively the race over after 35-45 minutes. Last of the starters, Tamami Tanaka of Japan. First race on Thursday, finished 63rd in the individual, and with 3 misses on the prone, I'm afraid she's going to be struggling to make the top 100 today. Wind starting to pick up, which isn't helping the shooting. It was absolutely dead calm for the first half an hour, but things have changed, and those starting late, well, I think they knew what was coming before they even left the start line. Well, I'm not sure Jacques Rogge has chosen the right time to come and watch the biathlon. Not a thrilling run so far. And in comes Sylvie Bécard with 2 misses. Now she's not even going to make the top 50. 30.08 at the moment. Maguro survives in 54th, and she's down with the Japanese and the Romanians. Not an encouraging run from Sylvie Bécard.
The emotion of the athletes, the passion of the fans, the thrill of the competition. From February the 10th to the 26th, 2006, Italy will host the 20th Olympic Winter Games. Get ready for Torino 2006. To find out more and to purchase your tickets, contact your National Olympic Committee or visit the website torino2006.org.
Welcome back to San Siccario, and a day in which the first starter has actually come in first position. We don't see that so often, but it is the conditions that have dictated the way this race has panned out. The snow getting slower, the wind getting stronger, and so all those who started later than number 50 have been in all sorts of trouble. Niziak, now, really encouraging if she can just finish with a clear shoot. That's all she can gain from this. She doesn't need to worry too much about the ski time, and she's done exactly that. 5 out of 5 with a standing. Uwe Musugang will applaud that. Frank Ulrich thinks it's not too bad either. 2017, Sledermark's time, 2021. She's going to be just outside the Greenlander. One advantage, I guess, from the conditions here is that we've seen so many new names in the top 50 of the results. Niziak is there as well, just behind Sledermark of Greenland. Number 97, Berit Nordstedt. Lots of young Norwegians being blooded today in this World Cup. And I guess the reason for that is just in case that they show a huge improvement in form over the next 6 to 7 months, then maybe they'll be considered for the Norwegian team for next year's Olympics. And I guess it makes sense. Malkina, 1 miss, which would normally be good enough for a top 20 in a women's sprint event with someone of her skiing ability, but as you can see, she's not going to make the top 20, she's not going to make the top 30 today. Malkina coming in 28, 18, 19, 20, and just outside. 33rd position for Malkina. Perunka, the best of the Finns, in 32nd position. No Finns in the top 40 of the World Cup rankings. A disappointing season for them in both the men and the women's events, but maybe we'll see something from the likes of Vesa Hayatalahti and Puranen in the men's races come the Hochfilzen events. Number 99, Niziak, looking tired. Just lost a little bit of stability with the abdominal region, rocking and rolling from side to side. And number 79, Musanina starting just behind Great Britain's Emma Fowler, who's just gone through, and Musanina now with 3 misses outside top 60. Doesn't make too much of a difference today because there is no pursuit following this sprint, and so all they've got to worry about is the relay tomorrow, and it's going to make it quite tough to select the teams. In fact, it's going to make it very tough to select the teams with what we might call bogus results here in San Siccario, and a little bit of a disappointed. Add the fact that my computer isn't working to the fact that the conditions have changed so drastically throughout the race, and it's not been the best day for the Biathlon World Cup, and I just hope that they've managed to distract Jacques Rogge, who's been shown around the facilities here in his preparation for the up-and-coming Olympic Games. 363 days left, I think it is, before the opening ceremony. One of 5, Urieva of Russia. Nice looking stand position, but the result's not quite what she was after. Ribo Sun from Dalian, where all the Chinese teams train. Now, I still don't understand this business of sticking the poles out to the side when you're down in the tuck position. Surely you're going to lose fractions of a second, and has it cost a position here? 28.12 to get World Cup points. Oh, it may just have done. 0.1 of a second outside Mihokova's time. A slightly more aggressive attack into that last downhill run, and Ribo Sun could have got herself a World Cup point, but I think it would have been short-lived because Nina Lemisch is inside that time. 27.57 for Lemisch, and she'll be delighted to have picked up a few points, and will take credit for doing so, having started way down the field. Jacqueline of France, 9 out of 10. Pareto has gone well today. Still 3 French women in the top 15. And I'm still waiting for confirmation of where Olga Pilieva has finished today. She was one of the earlier starters. Didn't look to be on quite as good a form as we were expecting. Pilieva started number 11 today, 21 points clear of Kati Wilhelm in the World Cup standings. But Wilhelm almost certainly got this one in the bag. Good finish. Sabina Buchholz has got a chance of getting a top 30, but I think she will lose time. Look how close it is between 25, 26, 27. Another 10, 15 seconds before the clock will stop for Sabina Buchholz. She's going to have to turn it up in the closing stages. If she wants to take points, she'll have a good battle with Jenny Adler, who's 19-17. Nazarova's pushed down. Buchholz 1 place behind Jenny Adler. Was good shooting, very good shooting indeed, and I think Uwe Musagang would enjoy putting in 2 German relay teams where the pressure is so much greater, just to give these youngsters a bit more of experience of the head-to-head racing, which creates such a different atmosphere from the time trial events such as the sprint and the individual. Well, it's as if they've got a stick of extra purple under their skis. The ski speed so slow now. Maybe even Clister they've got on the base. That's what it looks like. You can see the dirt on the track that has come through since the nice surface layer that we've had for the last 3 days melted away overnight. They pressed it last thing last night, but in these warm temperatures it doesn't take long before it breaks up. Zakunkova, another clear shoot, so a big improvement on the shooting standard from the individual race, where only 1 person managed to clear all 20. Today we've got at least 15 with a clear shoot. Otaka goes down in 54. Sledemark pushed down 1 place, and the Greenlander, if she can finish in the top 60, that will be a good day for her. Poles also delighted with the way things have gone so far. Wisdom up in the top positions at the moment. Xinglang Liu in 3rd place for China. Kong of China also up there in the top 5. So I don't know what the odds were on a win for Wilhelm. I know Sandrine Bailly was put down at 3-1 on Nordic Bet, and Bet and Win had Poiret at 12-1. Thought that might have been worth a few euros. And Tora Berger down at 30-1, 25-1. But you certainly would have got very good odds on Kong being in the top 4 and Guisdon being on the podium. Nice rapid shooting from Tanaka, the last of the starters here in San Siccario. I'm not sure whether we're going to stay right the way through until the end of this biathlon, but there's no one out there who's going to threaten the top 10 positions, so things will not change. Look how deep the snow is now, and so much of the power that you put down through the ski just goes into compressing the snow into ice rather than in propelling the ski forward, and that is why they're going that much slower, and they all look so much more knackered. It's not a nice sight. You have to have a little bit of sympathy for those who started in groups 3 and 4, and even those who started in group 2 had worse conditions, significantly worse conditions than those who were fortunate enough to be drawn with bibs number 1 through to 15. It was a good standing shoot from Niziak, but 3:31. Well, the top skiers will cover 1,200 metres, maybe 1,250 metres in that sort of time. So that's the margin that Niziak is behind the likes of Kadi Wilhelm. Number 112, Sabina Buchholz, good clear shoot. Just sounds as if she's having a good shout at, I'm not sure who. Or maybe that was someone just giving a little bit of encouragement as she heads towards the line. If you do catch a slower skier, the faster skier has right of way, but you've got to make your presence known with a sharp yell. And if that doesn't work, then maybe a sharp ski tip in the backside just to make sure they get out of the way. Well, 1 or 2 still fighting out there, and Buchholz is amongst their number. Number 109 looks to have given up the ghost. That's the 21-year-old Pauline Jacquin of France. And coming up from behind, I think it's 104, Podea of Romania, just turning up the power for her finishing effort. Well, Buchholz will be very, very disappointed when she gets in to see just how slow she is compared to those who started earlier. Now, I would be interested to know what you think if you've stuck with this one. It's not been the most thrilling of biathlon races, but if you have an opinion on whether the Biathlon World Cup should, if they're going to keep fields of 113, 114, whether they should put the best last, those in the top 30 of the World Cup, whether they should do the same as the cross-country World Cups, where the best in the World Cup start last. They go in reverse order of their position and keep the race going right and through until the end. If you've got an opinion on that or any other ideas or questions, do contact us on biathlonboys@hotmail.co.uk. That's the address we'll be using for the rest of the season, and we'll either get back to you via the email or we'll deal with your questions on air as the season goes along. Well, there's the best sight we've had so far. It has turned itself into a sugar mountain. Everyone looking for the last bit of firm snow right on that right-hand side. Everyone going up the middle is going at a snail's pace, and it's made a little bit of a mockery of this race and somewhat of a lottery. And Kati Wilhelm can thank her lucky stars that she was the first to go, the only to get nice, smooth tracks. And today, similar to alpine racing, those starting outside the top 50 really have no chance contending with those who go nice early on, where you get a good, firm, smooth, fast piste. Good finish from Zhu Dong of China. She's fits nicely into the Chinese mould of being an exceptionally good skier. They all shoot fast. I think they've decided from an early age that we'll train them to shoot fast and then just hope that they get better, rather than training them to hit the targets and then speeding up the style. It's a tactic that many teams have used, and I just have a feeling that it may well work for the Chinese. I'm not sure whether they're going to be hugely successful next year, but if today's results are anything to go by, we have to watch out for them, because Gong has gone well, Kong has gone exceptionally well, Liu we know all about, on the podium still in third position, just behind the pole, and of course behind Kati Wilhelm, who still leads here in San Siccario. And Wilhelm will be delighted with the way things turn out, but a little bit of a hollow victory, I would suggest, in that it really was that much easier for her. She is the leader of the World Cup sprint, and she's going to extend that lead over Olga Pilieva by some 20 points, so she'll be 30 points or so clear. And maybe that particular crystal globe is coming her way, and if my calculations are right, Kati Wilhelm is going to go to the top of the World Cup standings as well, so she'll be in yellow for the first time this season, and that certainly will keep the likes of Uwe Musugang very, very happy indeed. What a career she's had in biathlon since she switched from the cross-country code. Will be her second win of the season. She won the sprint event in Antolz just 3 weeks ago. Sabine Buchholz, look at that, 10 out of 10 in the range, but she's not even going to make the top 30. No World Cup points. That is very disappointing indeed. Yeah, shake of the head, says it all. Well, you have our sympathies, Sabina, because that was a good ski and a brilliant shoot, but you really had no chance. 115, Tamami Tanaka, 63rd in the individual event with 6 missed targets. Chinese and the Japanese really have increased their ski speed over the last 3 seasons. It's been coming up bit by bit. Marie Perron of Canada, 9 out of 10, which under normal circumstances is pretty good, but 81st, 31.29, 5 minutes down. The soft conditions proving too much for the Canadian on this occasion. A couple more to finish. Heineside of Norway is one of those. We've still got Grudicek, Nikiel of Poland to come across the line. 4 misses for Heineside. She, to be honest, hasn't skied too badly. If we take a minute 40 off that, and she's only 3 minutes or so behind the best, skiing in the worst conditions. So Heineside fitting nicely into the Norwegian mould of a biathlete. Good skier, not quite so consistent when it comes to shooting. Well, disappointing race on the whole from San Siccario, and not one that they would have wanted to show to Jacques Rogge, who's been visiting the site, just checking that everything is going to be okay for the Olympic Games next year. But well, if you're a biathlon fan, maybe you'll want to tune into the cross-country taking place in Reitenwinkel. later today. The men's 15-kilometre freestyle, and amongst the starting list is one Ole Einar Bjorndalen, who has decided to abandon the biathlon tour for a couple of weeks and just make sure that he qualifies for the Norwegian team in the cross-country World Championships taking place in Oberstdorf in just a few days' time. And if he gets a good run today, surely if he finishes amongst the top 2 or 3 Norwegians, they have to select him for one of the races at the World Championships. And that's what his aim is. And then he wants to come and win medals at the Olympic Games next year in both biathlon and cross-country. That would be some feat. He took 4 golds from Salt Lake City. He wants even more next time round. Kati Wilhelm, the winner from today. If you're a fan of hers, she's got a good website that's worth queuing into. Lots of good photographs and an indication of the sort of training program that she goes through. Nikiel of Poland, not quite up to Guisdon's performance, who really has produced the shock run of the day. I think that's fair to say, with some good shooting, and Guisdon in second place behind Kati Wilhelm. Tanaka, the last of the starters, 5 misses, and not particularly quick over the snow. She's going to be just outside the top 75. Well, there's the result of the thaw that has been taking place in San Siccario. That's all we've got time for from Italy for today. Not a good day for the Brits with Emma Fowler or Adele Turner, but a very good day for the Germans. They'll be delighted that they have taken the win, and they'll be hoping to do the same in both relays tomorrow. The men and the women racing over their relay distances tomorrow, and we'll have all that action live on Eurosport for you tomorrow. Hope you can join us for that. But for now, from San Siccario, it's goodbye.